Welcome everyone to round 2 of February 5th Stars Unlimited Local Night over at Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. If you guys are looking for a place to play some Star Wars Unlimited, check out Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. Thursday nights, 6 p.m., $5 entry. And here we are, folks. I'm back getting all sweaty again. Oh man, I'm the sweat lord today as well. 2 sets of locals, and I'm just so sweaty at them as well. But yes, oh yes, I'm bringing Honda Spark Yellow going up against Mace Red. Alrighty, folks. Well, we're going to discuss these 2 decks, but most people know what Han Spark does. Whether it's yellow, whether it's green, whether it's red, it doesn't matter. It does the exact same thing. Han Spark on its front side states action, tap him. You may put a card from your hand into your resources active. Then at your start of your grouping phase, at the end of your grouping phase, immediately kill off one of your resources. A great way about this leader is that you get to ramp. You don't ever miss your turn 1 play, because you'll just be able to stick a card from your hand to your resources, and then maybe be able to play a card, immediately play a 3-drop. So a lot of times, what a lot of times you see people do is they'll resource, play the Falcon out, and then have the Falcon swing 3 damage to your opponent's base immediately with the Falcon. And then when you go to your regrouping phase, you draw 2, you resource 1, you pay with 1 resource that you want to kill, you pay that for the Falcon, and then that just gets murdered off with the Han effect. So technically, the Falcon paid for nothing, and you're still standing now on 3 resources that you can utilize. That seems fair and fun. Then he flips 4/6/4/6 on his backside. That states action when he attacks. On the attack, place the top card of your deck into your resources ready. So if you've never seen how this deck leader works before, typically on your 5th resource turn, you then will tap them, put a card into your resources, and then you'll be able to be at 6. And then what you'll do after that is then you'll flip him over so he's on his backside, because you're now at 6 resources. You attack with him, place the top card of your resources. You're now at 7 resources, swing in, and then place down an Infant's Nest or say a Qui-Gon Jinn, something like that to deal with your opponent's board state. More often than not, it's going to be Infant's Nest, so you can bounce something with less power than her, which is always real nice when you get a win plate on attack skill as well with that. So yeah, then you do that, then you'll have to kill 2 resources. You have to kill 1 for the front side of Han and then 1 the back side of Han, because Han on attack does say at the bottom of it, you don't get to keep the extra resource. You do have to kill a resource at the start of your in your regrouping phase. So that's the name of the game. It's just double yellow. We're just running cunning. We're running all the good double yellow stuff. We're just hyper aggressive, smashing our opponent in the face and then just stabilizing our board before our opponent can. I did win overall with this leader, though I did have to forfeit round 2 to my opponent. My last round opponent was against Mace Red, that was playing a deck with the post-rotation ideology, so it wasn't running anything from sets 1, 2, and 3. It was running everything from 4, 5, and 6, and Battle of Hoth. So it was pretty neat to find out. Unfortunately, they were able to get any of their capital class vessels going and kind of just stopped me, and wasn't able to get anything going to stop me, and I just beat-sicked them. I had to give up round 2 because I've completely forgot in round 2 to pay for my Falcon multiple times over. So meaning that on my turn 7 play, I dropped a Qui-Gon Jinn to kill his Piet, which immediately hurt his entirety of his plays, but it was an illegal play because I didn't have 7 resources standing. I only had 6 resources standing because of the Falcon. So that's kind of the thing, because I did forget to pay for it. I didn't use the Han trigger, so there was nothing to kill or anything like that. So yeah, that was a PE warning. It probably would have been a PE major warning. I think that's what Yu-Gi-Oh would have given me, and I would have been a round loss, not a game loss, but a round loss. So round 2, or I guess I should say game 2 of 3. So actually would have been a game loss instead of a round loss. I call them rounds, like round 1, round 2, round 3. But it would have been a game loss. So I basically told them I couldn't have done that. That was a highly illegal play on me. So I gave him game 2, and then we went to game 3, and I was able to take it in the end. So enough about me. Let's go talk about good old Mace Red. Mace, when do states on his front side, pay 1, tap him. You may deal 1 damage to a unit if one of your enemy units. If that enemy unit has 5 or more damage, deal an extra damage to it. He flips 4, 7, 5, 8, and on deploy, you may deal 2 damage to each damaged enemy unit. So we're just playing straight aggression here. Aggression from Spark Rebellion. You have Daring Raid. You have Open Fire, and you just have a bunch of units that want to ping damage onto our opponent's board state. And we have Karis, we have the Cassian Andor that can smuggle itself out as well. So we're just straight, quickly speeding down our opponent, beating them in the face. Well, you automatically probably know where this game is going, since I just said I went undefeated for the night with Han Spark Yellow. So I guess you all know what's happening. But enough talking about the decks. Let's get into game number 1. Here we go for game number 1. The Mace Windu player is just finishing up their resourcing here. We're going to start off with a 𝐒𝐻𝐿. Again, comes and hit it, and on death, you can then reveal yellow-white or red-white, and immediately be able to then create a active spy token here. I'm immediately going to use the Han effect to resource 1 card from my hand, and immediately allow me to play out the Falcon, and then I'm going to be able to pay for 1 resource for the turn, and then I can immediately mark 1 of my resources here. I'm immediately going to kill off a liberated slave for the payment of the ability of Han here and the payment of Falcon. Then we're going to see an open fire to immediately kill off the Falcon here just so it doesn't stay. And then I'm going to go with Faith in Your Friends to look at the top 3 cards on my deck, and I can add any one of those cards I want to my hand. I do not have to expose the card because I just straight draw it. And then I can use the secondary effect to reveal 3 white, 3 yellow, and 2 white, and I can immediately make spy tokens. I didn't have spy tokens because I completely forgot them. So those things up there are spy tokens. So we're going to have 𝐒𝐻𝐿 does have the 3 here. It's going to swing in. 𝐒𝐻𝐿 could potentially kill off a spy token here. I am just going to take a quick read of Mace Windu on his effect that he could ping damage onto these spy tokens if he wanted to. Spies are just 0/2s by the way. So nothing really else I can really do. I could potentially just trigger Han Solo again, but there's not really anything to do with that one. Multiple times, funny enough, I got that Faith in Your Friends off multiple times in games. It was a lot of fun when it really did work. I think I only missed it a few times when I accidentally grabbed something that actually didn't allow me to do the disclosure on it. So anyways, we're going to go for the Consular's shuttle here, and then that's going to be able to grab, of course, the 𝐒𝐻𝐿 because it is less than 3, because I have the coordinate, because it itself and the 2 spies are enough to 3 units on the board state. As a reminder, coordinate, you have to have 3 or more units, including itself, to gain its effect. So I'm just going to take the 𝐒𝐻𝐿 just so I don't have to worry about the 3 damage coming at my base every single turn. It looks like then we're going to go for Grassroot Resistance to deal 4 damage to the unit, and then we're going to be able to get back the 𝐒𝐻𝐿 and then heal 3 damage off of the base. So that's really nice there. A good card, a good old card from Spark of Rebellion. So anyways, then our Mace is going to take the initiative here, and then I'm going to just swing in my 2 spies to deal 4 damage here. So far, our Mace has only just been controlling the board state, but now I am at my 5 resource turn, which means I now have Han Solo very much active here. Yeah, that's the fun that everyone wants, folks, is now that I'm threatening my 5, I'm threatening my 7 turn drop, and which can be Infant's Nest. And for a lot of decks, that's basically just death on board once Infant's Nest gets dropped into the field. So anyways, I'm going to go for the effect of Han Solo to immediately be able to put the 6 here, and immediately going to allow Han Solo to come down onto the board state as well. So that's just basically going to be the end of the game here, as there's not really much else the Mace player can really do here once I establish my Infant's Nest, because I do actually have it in the hand. By the way, every time I actually need to drop Infant's Nest, I usually had it. So we're going to go aggression to kill off the other spy, and then restand the 𝐒𝐻𝐿 here. And then we're going to go flip for the Han, and then the Han effect, remember, again, has to be on the swing here to gain the resource here. So we're going to figure out where we want 𝐒𝐻𝐿 to go. 𝐒𝐻 can sacrifice itself into the Han Solo if it wanted to, and then restand a spy. We're going to swing 𝐒𝐻, and we're going to put a resource in standing with the Han Solo effect as well, which seems fair, seems legit, seems good. Yeah, it just seems like just the best leader to play. Anyways, yep, there we go. Drop the Infant's Nest, bounce back the 𝐒𝐻, because then Infants, by the way, does have that is on attack when played, by the way, meaning that you can never really stabilize anything once Infant's Nest comes on the board that is power 5 or less. Infant's Nest is just going to bounce it back every single turn. So that's the one problem that you have with Infant's Nest. Unless you're going to kill it, you don't have much of a way to deal with it. So anyways, I do have to kill 2 resources here, by the way, because of I utilize the Han's front effect and I utilize Han's back effect. So on attack skill, so I have to kill off 2 resources here. So I'm going to kill off Lando's Falcon, and then I'm going to figure out what else I want to kill. I do have a tech in my resources as well as I can smuggle. So I'm going to get out of tech and spare the target. Spare the target is just basically a bounce back of something from my board, and if it had a bounty, I could collect that bounty. So yeah, unfortunately, the Han player is not going to be able to do much. I do put the Infant's Nest out of my video camera range, and apologies for that all. But you guys know it's there. That it's an Infant's Nest. What do you expect? It's going to deal 5 damage and bounce everything back in the board state. It's a 5/7, by the way. So I mean, it's a thick thing to get through as well. Anyways, then we're going to drop the 𝐒𝐻𝐿, which is not really going to matter. So here, because we're going to do that, so we're going to go for the tech play here. We're going to pay, of course, smuggle tech out, using tech as one of the resources to pay for the smuggle cost. And then that allows me to now utilize my entire resources here as my playfield as well, because of everything in my resources gained smuggle. I know a lot of people will be happy when tech's gone out of the format as well. Well, and Hot Shot Blaster, because this deck does have Hot Shot Blaster as well. I don't think I saw it. I don't think I saw much Hot Shot Blasters when I was playing it. So I was going to go for the Strike Force X-Wing. We're going to be able to decide on hitting 2 damage onto something that is standing. The one problem here is that there's really not much you could do. Infant's Nest, yeah, you can ping the Infant's Nest, but then Infant's Nest is going to swing in 5, and then I'm going to bounce back to Karis because that's its effect, because that meant everything when that card was a win plate on attack trigger. You know, it just kind of got buffed by this Han Solo. But it is surprising that this Solo, while it does have tops in green mainly, mostly has tops in green, it's still not actually that bad of a leader to see in the top. I guess to say it's not a fun leader to play against. It's a nuisance of a leader because there's very little action to play against it or anything like that. But it is always going to be interesting because it's got the tops, but then there's a lot of times where PQs there are no tops and PQs with it at all. So it's kind of like this hit and miss leader. When it is able to top, it tops. And then it can completely miss as well. So it's always very interesting if you look around, like the PQ that happened at Fort Wayne, there were Hans there, but not a single one got in the top 8. So yeah, that's pretty incredible if you ask me, that this leader, even though this leader is really, really good and doesn't have a lot of interactions against each other and all of that, it does have this sense of failing on tops where it doesn't always get tops mattering in the everything. So anyways, then we're going to be able to go Mace Windu. Mace Windu should have pinged 2 more damage onto Infant's Nest there. So I did pick it up there with the Infant's Nest because it does come out with 2 damage here. And then we're going to be able to go search what we want to from tech. We're going to go for a surprise strike here, paying, of course, 4 or 5 resources here. Anyways, I do pay out here. So anyways, we're just going to immediately be able to resolve here. Unfortunately, I swung with the Infant's Nest there, not the Han Solo, and took the top card and put it in active instead of putting it in rested to pay for the smuggle cost. But yeah, that's what you do. Basically, also in this deck, who cares if you put those cards into your resources? Just bring out tech and just smash them all into your opponent when the resources can't really be threatened or anything. So yeah, Mr. Sweat McGee's takes game number 1. Let's move into game number 2. Welcome, everyone. Game number 2. Let's see how Sweat McGee's me can actually win it out. So anyways, opponent's actually going to let me go first here. I'm going to start off with a Faith in Your Friends to look at the top 3 cards on my deck, grab one of them and add to my hand. I can then once again disclose triple yellow, double white to then create 2 spy tokens here. So I'm going to show Infant's Nest, which I got actually, funny enough, you want to know how bad this was for my opponent? I got the Infant's Nest off of that Your Faith in Your Friends, by the way. I actually pulled it. Now, it's not great that I didn't really want to show it to my opponent that I had the Infant's Nest, but nothing you can do about it. I mean, I showed it as well. So, so as the Mace player is going to throw down an A-Wing in the sky here, I have 2 spy tokens on the ground as well. So I did take the initiative here. I am kind of deciding on what I want to play here because I do have the shuttle again. So I'm going to just put down the Falcon for its normal cost. No reason to use the Han effect here at all. Again, most time, I found myself only a few times actually using the Han's front side effect a few times. Not really a lot. So anyways, we're going to go for a piercing shot to hit the Falcon for 3 and then immediately be able to hit my opponent's base. So they're going to sacrifice the A-Wing into it. They just can't let me because if that piercing, because the second that A-Wing swings, I just bounce the Falcon back to my hand and remove all the damage off of me, which means nothing at all. It's a point of nothing. It's kind of a worthless waste of 3 resources there. So anyways, I'm just going to swing my 2 spy tokens into the base as well here. Yeah, it does really suck when you show the Infant's Nest, which means your opponent knows that you'll drop it on turn 5, which by the way should not even be possible. There's no way you should drop an Infant's Nest, a 7 cost on turn 5, on your 5 resource turn, which just seems extraordinarily dumb. Yeah, I think honestly, I know a lot of people wish Han had been banned back in the day when Han DJ combos were running around. I never actually got to play that combo line. I know a lot of people wished it had gotten banned then. So I honestly think maybe it should have been banned. But again, it's kind of that weird leader where it definitely is dominant, but then there are times it's not dominant. It's kind of this weird smattering here as my camera is going to go out of focus here as we're going to go for another Faith and Your Friends here, and then it comes back into refocus. Apologies that it just deciding to do that multiple times over. Usually I sit on the side where I can touch my screen to make sure it's always staying in focus here as we resolve my Faith and Your Friends, and then we're going to be able to figure out if I get everything. Unfortunately, I did not get the disclosure this time. I think I picked up a card that wouldn't allow me to actually finish the disclosure requirements, which again, I don't think my opponent minds not having 2 more spy tokens on the battlefield here. And again, that's a really good card. I mean, like I said, seeing an Infant's Nest off the top 3 of Faith and Your Friends, while annoying, is definitely very interesting. I'm kind of just deciding on what the Mace Windu player really wants to do here. We are going to go for the effective trigger to add another top card here. And then we're going to go for Cham. So that's what they were kind of waiting for me to do. They wanted to see if I was going to go for the play off of Han. Because Cham's Azula states if your opponent has more resources than you do, you can add the top card of your deck into your resources. So it allows them to ramp in this coloration because, again, Mace needs 7 to flip. And the problem is, since Mace is not in red, it can't really do anything. So yeah, I did it because I wanted to put out the stolen AT Holler here for the turn. And look at that, folks. I'm at 5 resources. You know what that means. It's time to immediately use the Han effect. Go into 6, flip Han, swing, go to 7, and immediately flip a good old Infant's Nest onto the board state. Woo! Time to get the Infant's Nest out, kids. She's here once again to bully everyone. Yeah, no, I saw Infant's Nest many times in these games. It was never really fun. So anyways, we're going to go for the effect to immediately deal 4 damage to the unit and then draw 1 card off of aggression because there's nothing to restand here. And aggression can only restand limited power anyway. So we're going to swing in the 4 damage from the AT Holler because immediately means that my opponent was immediately going to kill off the AT Holler. They do have a chance to utilize as one of their actions for the phase to steal the AT Holler and put it onto their field that they want to and rest it, of course. So they are going to take the AT Holler. So that means then that is their action. So I'm going to be able to flip in the Han Solo. Apologies, he went out of screenshot there, but we all know that since he disappeared off the face of my leader spot, that he's just straight gone. So anyways, we're going to see what Cham wants to do. Cham had 1 more power, he could have killed Han. 1 more power, he could have killed him. I know that if he had 6 power, I would have never flipped Han that turn because then it would be pointless. Then we're going to go drop the Infant's Nest here, and then we're going to bounce the AT Holler because it has power less than Infant's Nest, which means basically it did nothing. My opponent was able to grab an AT Holler, and I bounced it back with Infant's Nest. Yeah, I got my own AT Holler back to my hand. Anyways, for my 2 cards here, I'm going to kill my final Faith and Friends, and then my opponent is the 2 cards I kill for Han here in these horrible glare. Apologies for that. I've been really good with not getting my camera out of focus. Not really glare, out of focus. Apologies. I've been really good with it staying in focus. But yes, I killed the Faith and Friends in the L337 because there's no point. I don't really need to smuggle at the L337. I did have the blaster, which means I could put the blaster on the Infant's Nest and go for a game from there. So yes, me, Sweat McGee's, wins with Han Spark Yellow. But who would have thought? Me, Sweat McGee's, winning it all. Yeah, it's a nuisance. I saw Infant's Nest in both. I know that a lot of people will be happy when this leader and this deck strategy are just gone from standard play, from Premier. Doesn't mean it's gone from Eternal, and it may get worse in Eternal because DJ may be coming back to it as well, because again, Fantasy Flight has yet to state whether or not they're going to do any form of first turn ban list when the Eternal format starts. Again, the Eternal format starts the second a Lawless Time drops into the format. We rotate sets 1, 2, and 3 immediately out, meaning that we have the Eternal and the Premier format. So it'd be very interesting because I think some people think that Fantasy Flight won't do a ban list here in the beginning and kind of just let it be the Wild West of see what kind of really is broken within the Eternal format and then ban things. I would expect maybe like old Boba to probably finally come off the list. I would probably expect to maybe see Force Throw to stay on the list. Jango Fett probably needs to stay on the list. There's just too much stuff that now actually does continue to support that deck. And honestly, I think maybe Han should go on the list because if DJ is going to come back, which I think honestly, let him come back. Let people play with DJ. Let's get rid of Han. I think enough people have played with Han. But I don't know. I guess it's on your guys' opinion what you think will be banned and what won't be legal to play in the Eternal format. Because again, will be actually interesting as well what they do for the modern ban list as well. Now thinking about what they're going to do for the premier ban list, because of all the cards on there, some of them only are going to be playable in the expanded format, and then there will be some cards will be playable in the premier format. No, Force Throw is from Spark. I think almost everything in there is from Spark, Shadow, or Twilight. I don't think there's anything from JTL, Secrets of Power, or LOS. That's interesting. I don't think there's a single banned card from the three sets that will be in Premiere. So it'd be kind of interesting. I think everything is, all the cards that are on the Premiere on the ban list are all from sets 1, 2, and 3, which all go to Eternal. But yeah, you guys can let me know all your thoughts down in the comments, again, on the rotation, on what you think is going to happen for the rotation on the 2 decks, on Mace Red and Han Spark Yellow, and you can all let me know how sweaty I am down in the comments and how good of a player I am that I got my Infant's Nest out twice on my turn 5 resource. Yeah, you can let me know all that down in the comments, and while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you know if I might be able to go live for you, and we'll see you next time. I'm on Dragons TCG.